a sentence could be looked at in both ways, but I'm gonna put it as a dislike, and that is my boy Allen Washington, the leading scorer in the NBA, Bradley Beal. As far as what was last reported, he does not is not looking to get out of Washington. Is not requesting a trade, and it's a little perplexing. It's perplexing in the sense of how he's handled himself recently, because he has actually been outspoken about committing to stay in Washington and writing it out and taking I guess you could say, the Dame Lillard route when it comes to, sticking with the team. But if that's what you're saying and that's what you're going about, first and foremost, I ain't gonna be mad at you. If I'm not gonna be mad at anybody, especially if it's caliber when you're playing on a franchise it's kind of failed, and you see what's around them, you see how these games are going, where not only is he scoring the ball really well, but it's not like he's out here being inefficient. He's shooting well. He's just hooping, and he's not getting any help, and they're losing games. And so it's like, you'll be okay to request a trade, because like that's kind of the norm in a sense. But this past game when they beat the Nets, there's plays where off the ball he was just a mannequin, just standing still, not engaged at all. And then there's even more stuff when he coming off the court, not giving guys dap or anything like that. And so my thing is, it's either one way or the other. You feel like either you're on that level of like you're requesting a trade, you want to get out of there, which is completely fine, and he deserves to ask that. Or if you're saying you're good to stay, if you're saying you're locked in, like that is not going to help the current situation. Like if you're the leader of the squad, you got a lot of young guys on this team, and like that body language shit matters. Like how you're handling yourself, and even through these tough times matters. And so that's why I'm like a little kind of through it all confused, because it just doesn't. Those two things don't add up. If you want to stay, certain things like that shouldn't be happening. And by all means, request a trade, please. Every team in the NBA. Is waiting for you to say you want to go.
Yeah, I agree with you. Not so much about him not demanding a trade. What I dislike, and it has nothing to do with Brad. I dislike when I see players giving a ton of loyalty to these organizations. And I'll be the first and foremost, you have to look out for number one, being yourself, your family, and how that's impacted when you're talking about professional sports. Loyalty comes into play when you're talking about, youth basketball, some potentially college. And even then it's not in the case, because in amateur sports, that's a big business as well. And you ultimately have to do what's best for you. And so with Brad, I understand the mindset, get it out the mud, especially because a lot of that comes up in a way some of these guys are brought up, right? Like you are accustomed to, grinding to get what's yours. And, you have that mindset that you're going to fight through adversity. And if there's a brick wall in front of you, you're not going to turn around. You're going to run right through it. Right. And so it's kind of hard to change that mindset. But at the same time, it's, you got to look out after yourself and, your happiness and what you want to do. Because, shit, they gave him that contract. If Brad started playing bad, the Wizards would have shipped his ass right off and so that's my thing. It's like, I understand being loyal. You want to be loyal to the fans. Cool. You start playing bad and all that loyalty that they talk about goes completely out the window. So at that point, it's who cares, bro? Like, because I'm going to be frank about it. Like, if it's me, I'm not operating that way, Right. So that's why I'm so big on, player empowerment. When LeBron made the big three, even though I can tell you honestly, I used to despise Bron solely because he always used to beat the Bulls. Had nothing to do with being a Kobe fan. I respected his games, but he just always beat us. And I'm like, damn, can we win one playoff series, bro? Jesus Christ. Like, you know what I mean? But like Bron, man, he really shifted the mindset and the way these players think, right? So, seeing players teaming up together, hey, if they're going to judge you based off getting rings and all that, fine. Because I'm going to sit here and tell you right now, the only difference between teaming up and what happened in the late 80s is that teams did this themselves. There's nothing different. The Celtics at one point had 7 Hall of Famers on one team. And nobody talks about that, bro. Nobody talks about it. They had 7 Hall of Famers who were either in their prime or just out of it and still major contributors on one team. Like, come on, bro. Like, y'all, if that's not a bad thing to you, if it's not bad seeing Magic Johnson and James Worthy and Kareem and Byron Scott and AC Green,
all these dudes,
Michael Cooper, all these dudes, you know what I'm saying? They 2K rating on Hall of Fame all time. They 85s and above, bro. Come on, bro. Like, I'm not trying to hear it, man. So, like, again, man, just these players got to look out for number one because these organizations are going to do what's best for them. And to be frank, man, you know, even the money that they are given, it still doesn't account to the money that they bring in. So, you know, screw it. You think is best. You know, do what's best for you. Get that lawyer aside. I hope either Brad flexes his muscles to, you know, bring people in that he can get. Obviously, it doesn't seem like the Westbrook trade is working out, unfortunately. But hopefully, things can turn around because, man, he's a good player, bro. 27 years old, and man, you hate to see people waste those years, man, when they could really be, you know, impacting playing some winning basketball.